saving my disaster battle. Now, like any other disaster battle, the first things you need to do is figure out what your strengths are and their weaknesses. And also the best terrain. So for terrain here, it's not exactly ideal. We've got a giant hill that blocks off our vision if we don't have someone on the other side of the hill. Now, the next part is we've got Skaven reinforcing from the left, but if we don't slow down the enemy forces, they barely make it onto the map before they rout off. So our Lord is charging into the enemy forces, trying to distract them long enough to get the Skaven the best chance they can to stay on the map and actually do something useful instead of just routing off right in the beginning. Our forces are coming in, and now we can highlight our position a little bit more. The Skaven over here have managed to make it onto the field and hold for at least a little bit. Our Lord's coming back, and we're setting up along the left flank of the map against a hard wall. This protects one side of our forces and means we don't need to worry about being flanked too heavily by the lizards on that side. Whereas on the right side, there is nothing to protect our flank, but there's nothing we can do about that either. Another unfortunate thing about this map is the trees. It will make it harder for our archers to shoot, but this is the best position I could find. Now, the Skaven are routing slowly, as I said they would, but it took them a lot longer because we sent our Lord in to distract their forces for a bit. We're also getting a small retinue of lizards coming our way that we can take out nice and early. Fixing up our position a little bit more because, again, we are in force march. It takes us a long time to get anywhere. Tomb Kings aren't the fastest race. We're in force march. It's unfortunate. Khalida, the Tomb Prince, and the original Lord are going to go and hold this small force of lizards. Not Skaven, lizards. As we can take them out a bit early without too much effort. We're also trying to go and get artillery into an okay-ish position. It is a nice enough block for us to use Khalida's explosion ability, which works really nicely. And this is taking out a bunch of their force early on. They're going to rout and come back later on, but we'll have done decent damage. Again, trying to get our forces set up in a semi-decent way. Being in the trees on the left like that is not exactly what I want, but pulling further right just feels too risky, so I don't. We're keeping the carrion up there just for visions reasons, so we want to be careful about losing the carrion. They were being shot earlier, we pulled them out, because we want to keep that vision over the hill for the artillery and our sake of mind, just to know where the enemy forces are. That hill is a real problem. Losing the carrion is very unfortunate for this specific reason. They might not be the best troops, but they do give me vision and stay in general safe. We are still taking out small blobs of lizards who come after our Lord in steps here. We've got a slow enforce of the other lizards coming over the hill where artillery is aiming for certain blobs and doing its best to fire. It's not ideal with that hill, but get the damage in you can. Repositioning the Casket of Souls and the Lords, because now we want to be out of the trees to fight the rest of the blobs. Being in the tree was more accidental than intentional, but for the next part where the bigger force comes in, I want to be outside of the trees where our archers can fire best. Now, one of the suggestions I got for this battle was use the Ushopti great bows to take out Kroq-Gar. In one attempt, I did try to use them heavily for specifically that. They had massive problems firing at him no matter where I placed them. In the same battle, getting irritated with them, I tried getting them to fire at the Stegodon, the Pharaoh Stegodon that will be coming in later, and they had problems firing at that. So using the Ushopti great bows is for me, more useful if I just get them firing and keep them firing, because I've had a decent amount of issues with them having line of sight problems, just in general not firing, and therefore being a massive waste of balance and power on my side because I can't get them to do any real value. Now the real value of our artillery is slowly coming in. As you can see, they're firing at a beautiful blob coming up the hill, and we're starting to get real chunks of lizards coming in. We can see the feral stegodon charging in from the left, which means I'm setting up my archers to get a good angle on the stegodon. Very important to bring that down because, again, it's another creature that will absolutely wreck us. Very important, again, is that Lich Priest going for the heals. This is, of course, from the Nehikaran passive. We can't focus on our offensive spells because they are too expensive. It will just eat through our magic. We only have 20 wins. It is nothing. But those minor heals from the passive will make a big difference long term. As you can see, I moved the camera, you can't. As you can see, the Stegodon is slowly going down over there. He's about to break, but we want him to die or to completely shatter and not just break. And you can see we're so close, so very close. I think he's shattered, but it might be the troop in front of him. But we're still firing at him because I haven't noticed at this point in the battle. We are zoomed in. Ooh, look at that. He was only shattered. And now he's dead. This is exactly what we wanted. So, back to the battle at hand. We've taken out the Feral Stegodon. This is a massive win for us. Let's keep going. We've got Kroq-Gar coming in real soon over from the south, north. So good at directions. And now we're back to the battle because we need to focus. Just because the Stegodon's dead doesn't mean we're in a good place. It's important to keep the Lich Priest healing with his passive and everyone else fighting. There with her secondary lord and Tomb Prince, keeping the right side as clean as possible, while the left side is being bombarded with artillery. I'm looking for the best positions I can get. I didn't do the best job. I also have a little bit of problems with the Casket of Soul, where I can't target the ground, so I need to target units, which is risky, considering that will or could lead to me bombing my own troops, and we need to be careful. On the right over there you see troops coming in for the flank. They were coming in a little bit earlier as well for this, but luckily for us they went for our infantry and not our archers. The archers can handle a little bit of pain and fighting, but it's better to get their true value by shooting. As you can see, I've had a bit of a problem with the Casket of Souls, trying to get in a good position, and the Ushakti again. We're moving them, seeing if we can get good angles for them to keep pushing that damage that they should be doing. Our Ushakti, the normal summon ones, are ready. We are going to wait until it is the right moment to use them, or the moment I find right for this. Right now, we're holding on the right and the left decently well enough, so there's no point putting down that force just yet. Once it becomes necessary, we're starting to see some breaking on our forces, we will place it down. Our Tomb Prince has taken enough damage that we can use his army ability to lower their armor, which just helps. Lizards have a lot of armor. Now, Kroq-Gar is in the midst of my people, and I could focus him down, but he is such a small target, it does not work very well. He is rampaging through and causing massive morale issues. My Tomb King Lord is slowly going down. He's already passed his level for the curse, which gave us good damage earlier on. At 50%, Tomb King Lords get an ability called the Curse, where they do big AoE damage around themselves. So that is a very useful thing to use. Keep them near the blobs when they are low on health, so when it procs, you get that damage. Now that right flank is beginning to completely crumble, as you can see, which is why we summoned the Shopti in. Some of my archers are charging in, which is actually what I want, because I want that flank to hold. So I am happy with it on this one occasion. I'll even send some archers in myself in a little bit once they run out of ammunition to hold that line so we can keep things going. Keeping a close eye on where problems are arising. Those forces joining in again are great targets for the archers to take out. Over here we see another 2 archers charging into battle, which honestly, again, is the right choice because we need the massive bodies to keep morality up. Khalida's ready to go and blow up a nice little blob of units again, and we also don't want her anywhere near Kroq-Gar because Kroq-Gar is a pain in the ass, and let's be real, he's just going to smash her and we don't want that. So, we're finding a good place for her to go to blow up a blob. I noticed that some of my archers on the left are blobbed up again, trying to clean them up. We are eventually going to have to deal with Kroq-Gar. I think I've sent the Shopti, not great bows, but the actual Shopti to hit him as best we can. And they're doing what they can, which is not great because Kroq-Gar is a real problem. Now, we've gotten a lot of archers to get a good amount of their ammunition off. There's still a lot left. But what we need now is to clean up all of these almost dead forces that are still on the field. And on the left side, we still have rather healthy forces, but this is where our artillery comes in. Get good angles, the best angles you can get. I did not get the best angles possible, but you need good angles to get those shots off and take out their forces slow and steady. Keep an eye on the forces trickling in. Make sure you get rid of them as fast as you can, just because you don't need that force pulling even more negative abilities to your leadership. Khalida's joined the other side because that's where we need the most help. There is an archer in there with full health. That is unfortunate, but they're holding the right-hand flank, which is a godsend because Kroq-Gar really does just destroy. Khalida, on the other hand, has one more explosion to go for. We're trying to get her in a nice position where she's completely surrounded to go and get the most out of that. Pulling her up there is a pain. Mass is rough for such a small creature. So we triggered it a little bit early. Keeping those heals up. Remember, they're a map-wide heal. They're from the passive. And keep trying to get the best angle for your artillery. On the right-hand side, we have cleaned things up immensely. Kroq-Gar is now no longer in the midst of all the battle, so it is worth shooting at him. In the beginning, when I tried taking him out early or anything like that, he would just get into the center of a unit and we wouldn't get a clean shot on him. He is on a smaller mount, so it was immensely hard to shoot him in that force. Pulling the artillery out because we don't want him going and smacking that. He can smack one of my archers fine. There's that one little force trickling in to go and harass us. And we keep an eye on the situations. Right now, we've got 2.5 focused areas. The Khalida area, where we still have a good big blob of infantry from the Lizardmen. The Kroq-Gar situation right below us. And let's go. Let's keep going. The artillery has made it back to a position where we can shoot at the blob. It is slowly reaching the point where it's a bit rough finding good angles to get the artillery without destroying our forces. I think at this point, or very soon, I am going to stop using the artillery just because I'll be doing more damage to my forces than them. Like I said, Kroq-Gar is now harassing an archer, but is in a clean enough shot that we can focus fire him. It would have been great if we could have done this earlier, but he charges too heavily into the midst of our forces for that to be super viable, in my opinion. it's also a little bit a last-ditch effort to go and do some real balance of power damage to him to force the end. But do you know what? It was enough. It was enough. And now we can continue focus firing on him and trying to kill him. I've got enough magic for one last heal from the Lich Priest, which we're going to do. And we're going to try chasing him down. The only fast unit I have in this army is the Lich Priest, so he's going to go and chase him down as best he can. But we did it. Now, to summarize this battle, it was a pain. It was a real pain. There might be a better way to handle the situation. You guys did ask me to send this battle to Legend. I have done that. He might or might not do it. Either way, I'm really happy I succeeded. And I'm ready to keep going and trying and figuring out more and better ways to fight different situations. Either way, have a great time. Thank you. See you in the campaign tonight. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wait, I was wrong. Let's go and check the end screen real fast. We did lose our original Lord and the Tomb Prince, which is unfortunate. But they were both level 1, so it's not a big loss. I can go and re-recruit them without a big issue later on. Either way, absolutely fantastic. Thank you. I hope this was helpful to a certain degree. I wasn't really sure how to narrate or explain this battle as well compared to the Nurgle one I've done. But I hope it was interesting. Thank you. See you later for the campaign. Bye.